Well, we saw the dictator Xi come to San Francisco. Magically, it was cleaned up. And you know what the weird thing is? There's not a single videotape of the homeless people being moved or the streets being cleaned. Not a videotape anywhere on social media. How did that happen? How did it magically get cleaned up with no access, no video, no reporting? Weird, right? But it happened for the dictator, proving that law and order in cities can be saved if that's what they truly want to do. They did it for the dictator. Why don't they do it for America? Roy Gruber is a member of the new federal state of China. You can always follow them at NFSC Speaks, at NFSC Speaks on Getter, on X, and elsewhere. Roy, good to have you. Good to see you.
Thank you, Steve.
Now, I understand you just got back from San Francisco. You spent some time there, and the new federal state of China held some rallies protesting against Xi at the APEC meetings. Tell us about that and how it went.
Yes, I just got back from this dictator party, you call it, and San Francisco is a completely different city compared to 6-7 years ago when I first was there. It was a smart city. It was high tech. It was clean. And then all of a sudden it became this, filled with homelessness and drug addicts. And it basically, like, for some reason, and of course CCP's infiltration is a big part of it, that like it become really worse by many degrees. But all of a sudden you mentioned like the homelessness is gone. And the barricades are up, especially around the venue, like Moscone Center, like around like 5 or 6 blocks. They set up all these barricades and also the black curtains, like on the black barricades, and also checkpoints for any pedestrian entering the area prior to the meeting even happening. And also, we learned that Xi demands no protests against him, and also sent diplomats to the team he's going to contact with, and he said like he does not want to hear from the new federal state of China. He does not want to feel any like members of new federal state of China like protesting or other group and chanting take down the CCP. So that's the situation, and makes people feel, is this a problem that we could have already solved, but
so that's how they did it then.
And all of
That's how they did it. They cordoned off the whole area, Roy, is what you're telling me. They closed off however many city blocks. They went in, got the homeless out of there, however they did that, unmarked buses or whatever, cleaned everything up, sprayed everything down, made it look like a jewel city that it once was, because San Francisco was truly one of the jewel cities of America until the Democrats got in charge of it and turned it into a steaming pile of, well, you know. And so she demands X, Y, Z, and then she comes here and says, look, we're going to take Taiwan whether you like it or not, so don't argue with me about it. Joe Biden says, all right, well, we're not going to develop AI on the battlefield any further, even though we have a strategic advantage right now with that. He says we're going to buy all of this green energy stuff, turbines and solar panels, which basically are all made in China. So China's going to get a pile of money from guaranteed customers while we bankrupt ourselves and destroy our energy grid. What is this insanity? Does she have pictures of Joe Biden in compromising positions or what?
Well, look, if you look at the local authorities, like how they are kowtowing to Xi, you can see how deep the infiltration and how huge the impact Xi personally has on American soil, right? This is not just one politician, or this is not just one aspect, this is multifaceted, right? And just look at like we're there like over several days, and we have 400 members of the new federal state of China, and we're the largest group to protest Xi for 2 days when he's staying at APEC summit, and we're like our members like they're standing 14 to 18 hours on the 15th. Just make sure we can, just make sure he can hear us. Like we want to convey this clear message that Xi does not represent China. Xi does not represent Chinese people and Chinese people's benefit. And there's no way you can get anything from, talking to him or colluding with him, or because whatever deal you're gonna make, he's not gonna keep his promise. Because if you look at the history, like he never kept his promise. It's always been undermining and trying to replace America as the global dominant power. because that's his personal ambition, and he's been purging
Well, it's
all
not
these,
just his personal vision. To be fair, it is his vision as the guy in charge of the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese Communist Party believes everything under heaven. How do you say that in Chinese? Everything under heaven belongs to China. There's a saying for it, right?
Yeah, everything belongs to the party, right? Nobody ever have any, right to own anything. And that's the essence and to extreme, like essence of socialism, but it's to extreme. It's a pure communism. Nobody owns anything, and the power in its nature will be centralized to one person, just like Stalin or Mao. Like any division, like separation of power, like the other party will use any tool to take it over and to basically centralize all the resource to one person. And remember, over 70 years, like Chinese people never got a chance to vote for its own government. And again, we don't want this to happen to United States because we see the United States headed for that ending. So that's why we have over 400 people there just outside of the very first checkpoint heading to the Moscone Center where Biden and Xi is meeting, and we're chanting take down the CCP, and we make sure like we convey this message that Xi is the enemy of American and Chinese people.
She is the enemy of people globally. I mean, why do we celebrate a violent and brutal dictator? Dictator Xi, that's who he is. He's a violent and brutal dictator who disappears people that disagree with him, who controls everything and controls the mechanisms of the Chinese Communist Party, which, again, Joe Biden does his level best to entertain and, take care of and look after and treat with kid gloves, with a red carpet treatment as well. It's shocking to me, Roy. I think it's disgusting. Anyhow, Binance CEOs pled guilty for money laundering. How does that tie in back to the CCP?
Yes, well, one of the many whistleblowing like miles in the new federal state of China giving the world like a couple of years ago is that we say Binance, PAG, Neoshen, they are proxies of Chinese Communist Party. They have white gloves. Basically, they're helping the Chinese Communist Party to infiltrate United States, launder the money, and also provide intelligence platform for the Chinese Communist Party. And now, like we see the CZ, the CEO of Binance, facing a pled guilty and facing 18 months in prison. And basically, like we see like the structure and the design of the platform is that there's no KYC process. If their customers want to get their money back, instantaneously there will be $50 to $100 billion in debt, and they embezzle those so-called stable coin, which means there's nothing, no US dollar really backing their stable coins, and they're providing information to the CCP so that they can arrest people and rob cryptocurrencies from their customers. And also it allows transactions associated with terrorist group. So that's the nature of a platform like Binance, and it will
Kill for the people. Yeah, exactly. Make them disappear, like I just said. Roy Gruber, member of the new federal state of China. You can always follow the new federal state at NFSC Speaks on Getter, at NFSC Speaks on X, and other places. Roy, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Steve.
Really appreciate it. Quick break. I'll be right back.